It's Christmas!
And Joe got internet for Christmas. So yeah, we're back.
Well, I think it was... Which night was it? It was the 23rd of December. So I just finished work for Christmas. And I went over to my friends. And I got a text saying, "You have internet now." And I was like, well, why am I at my friends? I can't capitalise on this broadband.
I know, I think I got a text from you just saying like, we might have broadband. Nope, we've just got Wi-Fi. No internet. I was like, oh.
Yeah. There were like 4 days where... Because I was looking at my hub and there was a light. I was like, yes, internet. And then I tried to tap it. I was, no internet.
Yeah, I always do that whenever I get like new internet set up. I'm just like, okay, if I just plug it all in, for no reason the internet will just start working. And I'm always sat there with Wi-Fi for like a week, just like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Always disappointed. But anyways, we're back, finally, for the last one in this series of co-pilots. So what are we going to do for this one?
We're just going to go through the 44 shows we actually managed to watch this year.
I
Before...
can't believe it was 44. That's mad.
I know, it was meant to be 52-ish, I think.
When did we start? We started recording these pretty much...
Over a
I know
year
it was
ago.
like,
I
yeah,
think.
like it's November time, wasn't it? Because we had a few that we recorded, like as a back catalogue or like a backup thing, so we could something to fall back on, I suppose.
Yeah. It went really well towards the end of the year. We ran out of things to fall back on.
Yeah. We did
But-
have a few. What was it? It was like there was a couple of weeks where we did a couple of episodes a night, and that got us back on track.
Yeah, and we just thought, I will be able to... The internet gets set up quickly. Turns out it doesn't.
Nope.
Especially
Nope.
in a newly built flat.
Not when you're buying from Lavelle Home Development. Yes, that's right. I'm calling you out, motherfuckers. God, they're shit. Anyway, onto the TV shows. Rich, what is your number 5? Or would you like to do your special mentions first?
No. My number 5 is Blind Spot. Because
Well done, Blythe.
I thought it's a really good premise. I know we sort of, if I remember rightly, back in April, said that there was a couple of things that could be wrong with it, or improved in our opinion, but I think it was still a solid premise. I like the tattoos thing.
Yeah, that's
I really
largely
dig.
why
I really dig the tattoos.
That's pretty much the only thing that I saw that and saw there was someone with loads of tattoos and that was part of the story. Yeah, that'll be me.
But no,
Yeah.
I think at some point, maybe while I'm not at work, I will go through and catch up. At least probably the first season. Because I thought it was pretty good. Solid.
Yeah, it was. See, this is the trouble I'm having. As I've just said to you, is that because they were all so long ago, I'm really struggling to remember. Like I remember like most of the the sort of most important points of it. But beyond the point that she's in a bag, she's got tattoos, and the detective's name is tattooed on her back. Beyond that, I don't really remember the.
She also has no memory of why she's there.
Well, yeah, that as well. Because otherwise that'd be really short. It's like, oh yeah, I don't. Well, this.
And the tattoos seem to correlate to like big terrorism things. So I pretty much just want to find out who she is and what the fuck happened. And then I'll probably be set and just not have to watch anymore.
It'd be interesting to see sort of what they do for if they got a series 2.
Season
Wouldn't it?
2's already started airing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's how behind the times we are.
Wow, we're late.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once it's sort of like, oh, okay, well this is the mystery. Okay, well, what's series 2 then? Another woman in a bag with loads of tattoos.
She just goes and gets them all lasered off and then just goes and has some amnesia. And then
Goes and has. Imagine that in the script. She has amnesia done to her.
and then she just gets some new tattoos for season 2.
Nice.
But what was your number 5?
My number 5 was Scream.
Oh yeah.
And all of the ones that I've picked pretty much. Oh no, that's just a lie. But most of the ones that I've picked are ones that we've watched the pilot for, and then I've gone away and watched, like, outside our little podcast show.
Bubble.
So, yeah. I don't really, because I got part of the way through Scream on Netflix, and I just can't remember. I stopped watching it after a while. I don't know. I just, sometimes you do, don't you? You just drop off it. But I really, really liked it. I thought it was very. It managed to reflect what, technology is like now, and social media and things. Like, there's an episode where they do a little take on Serial, where this woman turns up and she's doing a podcast on it, and it's all revolving around things going online on Facebook and things, and it's quite good at criticising those things.
It seemed like from the pilot, it seemed quite like self-aware of what it was.
Yeah, completely, and that's what Scream is all about. The original Wes Craven Screams, it was all very postmodern, self-aware. Like, there's a bit where one character explains what not to do in a horror film, and then he goes and does it, and he ends up dead. So. But no, I really enjoyed it, and I don't know, I really like stories that take place in schools. That's what I'm realising, because, Harry Potter, obviously, Bully,
Saved by the Bell.
Fuck off with Saved by Definitely not Saved by the Bell. But, yeah, and, yeah, it was just a nice little, as a big horror fan, it was a nice little... Oh, I just remembered a big thing that happened, like, was the one character that died that I didn't think was going to die, and she actually did die, so... That was quite nice. Like, the murders were quite grisly.
Yeah, we haven't actually. We haven't really done that much horror stuff. No. In terms of TV. It's because I don't think they make that many, really. Well, it's quite a hard thing to serialize.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, because we are planning to do sort of horror-y style things, something like Buffy and Preacher and Evil Dead and Van Helsing and things, and Hannibal. Hannibal was definitely a horror show. So the serialization there comes from the sort of the detective story and the police procedural of it. So
yeah, it's hard to have something that's just horror. I think
yeah.
It's horror and something else generally.
Yeah, I think horror is kind of like, the sort of the slasher thing. Anyway, it works best like a punk song. Like, if it's punchy, and it's screamy, it's shouty, it gets to the point, and it's grisly, and it gets the job done. Like, having a long horror film. A long form sort of horror story, it might be quite tricky to do.
Because it's also quite hard to build the tension, sort of.
Exactly,
as well.
Yeah. And sustain it. So, like, unless you did something like you serialised, okay, we've done, we've serialised Edgar Allan Poe stories, or with, like Inside Number 9, they just...
Yeah, I suppose you could...
Sort of thing.
Inside Number 9 is almost... Because for me, it's not really horror, it's just dark.
I think, yeah.
Dark comedy.
But it definitely is tinged with horror. Like what is it? Not The Reaping. Is it The Reaping? What's the episode where she goes up and there's the creepy dude at the top? The Harrowing. The Harrowing.
Yeah, because that's the one with Helen McCroy.
Yes.
Yes.
That one is out and out horror, and actually the Christmas special, which aired the other night, it's got a little tinge. It owes a lot to, it's a love letter to Hammer horror and those sort of things. But yeah, doing a horror TV show would be fairly tricky to do, I think. So, but I think Scream did manage it quite well.
Well, yeah, it seemed like an interesting take. It's up there for me, but it's not quite top 5 material. Not quite.
Was it one of your special mentions almost?
Yeah, it would have been if I'd actually thought about
it. What's your number 4?
Oh, number 4 is Wentworth.
Oh, Wentworth. See, that's one I've got that's on my special mention thing, because that was good, but then I didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, Australia is the new black, and it was. I thought it was really good because it's. I like this.
Orange is the new outback.
Because I just thought it seemed really. I haven't watched any more of it. I think, if I have, I don't remember, but. It seemed to be like quite a similar story, but I think there's more to it than is presented in the pilot. and it
Yeah,
just
I think so.
because it's the thing. I really like Orange Is the New Black, but they give me 13 episodes a year. Wentworth has a lot of episodes, I think, if it's still going.
See, I'm with watching things like this with films as well, but I think 13 episodes is a decent length for a series, and when you get your arrows and everything going up into 22, that I really struggle to watch them, which is not good for doing it.
It makes it hard to catch up, I think.
Yeah,
But then once you get to like I can just watch it weekly, I think it gets fine. But yeah,
I think that's the sweet spot, isn't it? You just need to get to the point where you can just go, okay, one a week, because otherwise you're like, oh, I've got to commit this much time of my evening. I've got to go to bed at this time to get up to work at this time. I just we don't have enough time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm enjoying these. I've got 3 straight days all to myself this week, so that's quite nice to be able to just catch up with like some movies and play some games and stuff.
But yeah, I think at some point I'll watch more Wentworth. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure when. I think.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
What will happen is it will be like 10 years down the line, and he'll go, "Oh, what was that TV show about prison in Australia?"
Just be like, it wasn't Prison Break 'cause that's in America, but Prison Break apparently is coming back at some point next year,
Yeah, I've heard that.
and I'm pretty hyped for that because Wentworth Miller's meant to be. He's a cast regular for all of the DC TV shows, but he hasn't been in many of them. So I'm thinking that's because he's off filming Prison Break, and
It would make sense.
I'm really up for just another season of Prison Break.
It'd be quite surprising that DC or the production company would be like, yeah, that's fine, you can go and do this other massive show. But
Well, I
maybe
mean,
it's
they
just
sort of they're using his character quite sort of sparingly because of spoilers for Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Because it's season 1. It doesn't matter anymore because his character dies in
Okay, never mind.
season 1, so they're using him as sort of like a flashback sort of thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so he wouldn't need to be like a premier member of the cast. I'm gonna have a Rolo. I got a tube of them for Christmas.
Cool. What was out of curiosity? What was your number 4?
We didn't really talk about Wentworth that much, did we? But yeah, my 4, I predict is going to be somewhat higher up on your list. But my 4 was Black Sails.
Black Sails is higher up on my list. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually the highest you can go on my list because I thought it was just really cool.
I thought it might have been, but
It's the only show that we watched that I actually bought the
DVDs,
Blu-rays for it, so I think it wins.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I think I seem to remember that when I was watching it, like I thought it was just a pirate show, and then started watching it, and then someone mentioned like Captain Flint or someone like that, some character from Treasure Island. I was like, oh shit, is this? So I was really pleased with that. But no,
Because it's sort of,
wasn't it?
yeah, for me it's tied up like all of the, because there's some stuff in there that you'd probably recognise, like Tortuga from Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's like Pirates of the Caribbean for grown-ups with characters that I recognise from Black Flag and Treasure Island stuff.
Assassin's Creed game, yeah.
So it's like it ties all of those 3 really cool pirate things into like one place where they swear a lot. I dig that.
It did really make me want to play Black Flag again.
Yeah, it's hard not to make me want to play Black Flag because it's possibly one of the best Creed games. Or actually saying that, it's probably the best pirate game I've ever played.
Oh yeah, easily. But I quite like the look. We're getting off topic, but I quite like the look of was it? There's the Xbox One, where you're all driving the ship. What's it called? Never mind, doesn't matter. But yes, Black Sails.
Because I can't remember. Did you order it as well, or was it just me?
No, I didn't order Black Sails. I did order a few. Like, I have to make a note of all the ones that I did buy the DVDs of. There's a lot of banging going on. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the new noises in this flat. Okay, it's a window cleaner. That's cool. That was terrifying.
What, did you just turn around? There's just a
I
guy
turn
at
around
the
and
window.
No, I've got the curtain shut. He's got one of them, the ones that it's on a long pole. I turned around and it was like fucking Crow from Mystery Science Theatre just turned up and was just smacking against my window. Jesus, that was shit scary. Yeah, Black Sails anyway. Yeah, phenomenal. Just unmitigated joy. I just remember watching it, and it was really reminding me because I used to watch Treasure Island, well, Muppet Treasure Island, as a kid, and I read the book, and then I remember I went to see a stage show of it a while ago, and I forgot how much I loved that story, and it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I always forget how much I like pirates. Because it's something that I remembered about when I first saw like Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, oh yeah, pirates are pretty cool. I mean, they're fuckers, but they're pretty cool.
I think.
But then this was like pirates for grown up, because like this isn't like, that show's not for kids. Because I think I was watching it, I was like, is this, who's this really aimed? Is it aimed at like people my age? And then I just remember hearing someone just go cunt, and I was like, that's for me. Just that's not something for children, is it?
Can I give you some sad news?
Has it been cancelled?
It's finishing after series 4.
A good number of seasons.
See, I'm looking at the wiki now, and I'm just starting. Oh yeah, I vaguely remember stuff about it. So I think I will probably watch this again at some point.
Yeah. Well, I've got seasons 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. I tried to watch them when I didn't have an internet, but apparently my Blu-ray player needs internet to like decode Blu-rays or whatever magic it does.
Really? That's strange.
Yeah, it was really fucking annoying because it meant I couldn't watch any of my Blu-rays. So I had to settle for watching whatever I had on DVD, which is
your
2 things.
Your PS3 still not working?
My PS3's in Hastings.
Ah. Well, okay.
And by the time that I could have like gone and got it, I had internet, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that was your number 4, wasn't it?
That was my number 4. So we're going to need to leave a little more for you to talk about it, because yours. What were we on? We're on your number 3 now.
3 was Revolution.
Revolution is
even with its weirds. Oh, we turned the power out, and all the planes are falling out the sky. I can get over that because it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Revolution. That was the one with Gus, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a great show. I actually recommended that to my dad.
Yeah, because it's like... Because it's weird, because there's not as many guns as there are in, like, The Walking Dead.
Not as many guns.
I quite like that show. Not many guns.
Well, it's just sort of...
How many guns?
Because I sort of find it weird in The Walking Dead that they can find so many bullets.
That is true.
But then in the Revolution, they've just sort of gone, fuck it. We just won't use them. And they're all like swords and...
Do they use flintlocks and stuff?
No, I think some of them have guns, but I'm not sure. I don't think they use flintlocks.
See, that's another one that I wouldn't mind watching a bit more of, because I did really enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes, because I think the whole thing was about like there were people who had the little things to turn on power locally, and I think trying to turn the power back, or find out why the power went out. And it's the girl trying to find her dad, and her brother is somewhere, I think. And she goes to her uncle, and he's a dick.
Is he the chap they find in the bar?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that now. It's funny, as we keep talking about it, just more and more details start coming back to me. Oh yeah, shit, that was great. No, I did enjoy Revolution, actually.
Yeah, it's another one of those. I think this list is pretty much stuff that I've recommended to people based on them being like, I wish I could see something that's like Pirates of the Caribbean, but they say cunt. And I was just like, Black Sails, that's the one.
How often do people come up to you and say, Rick, I got a little question for you?
Not that often, actually.
Strange that, isn't it?
Yeah.
We should probably have said that our top 5s that we're picking we decided between the two of us that we had to pick ones that
we hadn't watched before.
So it was the pilot that was introducing us to the show, because otherwise it would just be, for you, it would just be Flash, Daredevil, Arrow, all of them. Did we do Arrow this year? We did, didn't we? Yeah, Arrow.
Yeah. So it'd be like Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Prison Break.
Exactly. So
And it would have just been like, and like Walking Dead, Orange is the New Black, like all of those would have just been our lists, and we were just like, we can't do that. They've been included because, well, mostly we wanted to talk about them. And
it just, because
I think looking at season 2, there's a lot more stuff that we haven't watched.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I think 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 that I have watched. So.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, yeah.
6,
I'm excited. I'm really excited to carry on doing
7.
this. So what was that? That was number 3 of Revolution. Yeah, it very much reminded me of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah,
The whole Western thing.
It's like a weird combination between like, I think I like stuff that reminds me of other sort of things that I've enjoyed. Like like there's a bit of New Vegas, bit of like there's a bit of Walking Dead. Apart from, I like that it's an apocalypse that doesn't have zombies. Because apocalypses now always have zombies.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice that it was just like, it wasn't like an actual apocalypse. It was just someone turned off all the electricity in the world. So there's no real good guys and bad guys, as far as I can tell. There are people who you're going to see more as bad guys. I'm getting the feeling there's going to be like a very Negan character turning up at some point, but
yeah, I feel like Gus might have been that character.
Well, no, because that's typecasting.
Well, I keep calling him Gus. We should call him, what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito, isn't it? Something
Gus
like
is a little bit easier.
Yeah. I don't mind. I can speak foreign.
But no, I think it's good, and I will, at some point, watch it. The problem is just finding time to watch things.
This is the thing. It's just we're getting more and more constricted by sort of.
Can you imagine if we'd done this when we were at uni?
Adults. Oh, we'd have done hundreds.
We'd have been like, fuck it, it's a weekly podcast.
But equally, we wouldn't have had the money to buy microphones and, sort of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But we could have done it in the same place, which would have been quite nice.
But we'd have had the time.
That is something I'd like to do with Series 2, is have a few more, well, at least one episode where we're actually sat around the same microphone, or at least in the same room.
Yeah, it'd be nicer to do. I think later in the year, because I'm gonna have to fucking move house again.
Yeah. So
that'll be more possible, because it won't be Manchester to Southampton.
Yeah, which is quite far. So with that bit of admin out of the way, that was your number 3. This is my number 3. There's Penny Dreadful. Which,
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. You know how much I like horror and sort of Victorian sort of things, and I remember just watching Penny Dreadful. I can't remember if I watched the pilot and then bought the DVDs, or if I bought the DVDs and thought, well, I'm probably going to like this, but just seeing that it was the collected... I need to finish it, actually. I might start it again. Because just seeing that it was the collected story of, like, Dracula, and then there's a bit of Dorian Gray turns up.
Because isn't it it's just a bit of
Frankenstein.
Everything classic horror.
Yeah, it's all this sort of gothic fiction, all rolled into one world. And I hadn't seen it before, but the first episode was brilliant. Like, so you start watching it, let's see what this is all about, and it's a really good sort of mood board, or like a taster palette sort of thing of this is what you can expect. And it was like, right, we're sort of monster hunters, there's a gunslinger, we'll take him on board, we'll go down, we'll have a little bit of an adventure, we'll set up some of the overarching stories and go from there. And I just loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I did buy the DVDs and I did start watching it, but again, like Scream, I didn't get around to finishing it for whatever reason. So I will at some point go back to it, because I'd forgotten just how good it was. And I think it's Sam Mendes he directed some of my favourite stuff. Like he directed American Beauty, which is one of my and my mum's favourite films of all time.
Well, it's got quite a good cast, if I remember. If I remember
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
Because
got,
it's
Josh
Eva
Hart in it,
Green's
Eva Green,
and
which James Bond is it? Timothy Dalton's in it, Billy Piper's in it, Kinnear's son. What's his name? Is it Rory or Roy? Rory Kinnear, I think it is.
but it's a pretty strong cast, and they're still making it, aren't they? Hasn't been cancelled
I
yet.
don't think it has, which is making me think. Well, I should probably watch it while it's still current. You know.
Yeah, but it seemed good. I just completely because that was like episode 2. Yeah, I just completely forgot that was a thing that we'd watched.
Yeah, it was a very early one, so yeah. So that's my number 3. So I will go back and watch it, and I have got the DVDs. I did lend it out to some friends actually, who they gave it back after they finished. Yeah, it was really good. I was like, probably should finish this. So we're moving on to number 2. What's number 2?
And speaking
for you?
of horror things, my number 2 is Dracula.
See, I bought the DVD for this as well.
Because I don't remember exactly like the story and everything that happened in it, but I just remember being like, this is good, because it reminded me a little bit of like Hannibal in the way that like Dracula's quite manipulative and gets what he wants by just manipulating people, not like outright like just attacking them,
Yeah.
which is more interesting to me than like watching someone just go, I don't like you, so you're gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, I heard on the IGN UK podcast, one of their guys, Daniel Krupa, he's like specialises in gothic fiction, and he pointed out that because they were talking about Dracula Untold and how it was one of the worst films of the year, and he said that the worst parts of the Dracula book is when they're running around killing vampires. The best parts is when it's 2 characters just in a room together. So I think that sort of goes to what you're saying about it's the subtle, sort of almost social manipulation.
Yeah, and the fact that like, because I remember there
invented
being,
something.
sorry,
No, sorry. It's someone's invented some technology or something, isn't it? That's it. Some electric lights, isn't it? That's Dracula,
think-
isn't it? That's not. I'm not thinking of Penny Dreadful, am I?
yeah, no, that is Dracula.
Yeah.
I just remember there being, I think there was a scene where he like refuses to shake someone's hand because their hand's like in sunlight, so it would look to the guy who's there to shake his hand, not that he's avoiding sunlight, that it's like just a snub.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it's quite interesting seeing like, because quite often I found with like vampire shows and films and stuff, it's always vampires being reclusive and like segregating themselves off and just being on like the fringes of society, not being like part of like the high society, throwing like big parties, and no one ever questioning why they don't go out during the day.
Like Batman.
Yeah.
No, that's very true. I'm surprised that made it to your top 5. To be honest, because that's another one of my special mentions, because again, it's gothic, it's Victorian. I'm gonna like it, so I'm surprised that you liked it that much. But it's your number 2.
Well, it's because I think it's interesting. It's like seeing just like what would be like top of the food chain predator, just like just going around, just being like, you are my prey, so be good, or I'm going to fucking murder all of you. But yeah, I was just interested to see where it goes.
If you're done, here's an awesome segue. Speaking of people stalking other people and picking off one by one, my number 2 is Whitechapel.
Whitechapel's good. I couldn't put it on my list because I'd already seen it all.
Oh really? Well, I hadn't, which is good because I think I mentioned in the episode that my fiance's family they love Jack the Ripper stuff, and actually that's a point we need to get the DLC for Syndicate to do Jack the Ripper missions.
It's pretty cool. I've played that. It's pretty cool.
But I really liked it. You know, it was 3-part series, nice and short, but you know, great premise. It's like at the start. The chap goes, every time there's a killing in Whitechapel, everyone always calls out Jack the Ripper, and this time it's like, no, it actually is.
Have you watched the whole first season?
I have watched the whole first thing now. And
because do you like the way that they have to, like, to solve the modern day thing, they have to actually solve the Ripper killings, and then just go, well, I guess it'll be exactly the same as this, and it's some. I remember sort of watching it, just being like, that's a bit weird. But at the same time, I was like, it's really cool because it's throwing, like, almost like pointing out that, like, if we had modern technologies, Jack the Ripper wouldn't have killed quite as many people.
No.
Or have gotten away with it. But
well,
it was really good.
The creepiest part of the entire, and if you haven't watched it, yeah. I don't like that we have to be so sort of careful with spoilers, because it's like you can still enjoy a film or a TV show knowing that something's going to happen. It annoys me that everyone gets all so up in arms about spoiler.
I'd say there's like a 6-month limit on it. So like if it's aired and then 6 months later you haven't watched it, you can't complain about spoilers.
No, that's on you.
Because it clearly means it doesn't matter that much to you.
And if it did, you'd go and see it. So there you go. But anyway, the creepiest part is when you realise who it is, and when he starts just taking off his like eyebrows and his hair, and he's just a complete white face with not a single hair on it. That was really creepy.
Yeah. What I like is that then I think in like subsequent seasons they do different like big crime things in London.
For series 2 it's the Cray twins, isn't it?
Yes.
And then series.
And then I think they start doing. I think after season 2 they do. I think it's 6 episodes a season, but 2 per sort of case.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And it's pretty cool. I think I've seen all of it. I can't remember.
Because I don't think it's all on Netflix. I think it's only.
Seasons 1 and 2 are on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then you have to find the others elsewhere. Which is a fucking pain in the ass.
But no, I thought that was great, and I actually watched all 3 of them. So that I think that and this and my number 1 are the only 2 that I've gone and watched the entire thing. Admittedly, it's a lot easier to watch 3 episodes of a series than how.
But I think it's a testament to like how good the like writing and direction was that they can tell quite a big story in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because you could just tie them together and just be like, that's a film. And it'd be fine.
A long film, but yeah.
Oh. We're Lord of the Rings fans. 3 hours is not a long film.
Do you know, I'm due a watch of those actually. I found all the extended editions because I went back to my mum and dad's home and picked up all my DVDs.
Yeah. I'm missing 1 disc.
That's annoying.
Yeah, and it's the first half of Fellowship, so I was just like, oh, fuck.
That's not too bad to miss out though.
No, it's not too bad, but it's the disc that has Concerning Hobbits on it. And that's the one I want to see. That's the one I just want to hear that music.
I'll do it for you now. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Black Sails. We've already talked about that.
Well done, pirates. Do you want to expand on anything?
No, but there was.
Oh, you've disappeared. He's fallen off his chair.
No, I was reaching to get the box because there was a thing on the back. Was it on the back of this? Because there was something on the back of one of the discs.
On the back of a disc?
Not on the back of the disc,
on
the back of the box.
That's why you don't want anything at all. You want a pristine, clean, silver machine.
But I won't add anything more, but there was one thing on the back of this, I think it's season 1, that I did not enjoy. Black Sails does to pilot lore what Game of Thrones did to the lore of Middle-earth. And that statement can fuck right off.
I mean, I'm not sure that's an accurate representation of any of those things.
No, Game of Thrones and Tolkien are completely separate. Neither is better. They are different.
See, this is the thing I've realised in the last few months is I'm really trying not to have favourites anymore, because I don't know how you can say like this film is better than this film, like when it's completely different.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings are very hard to compare. Apart from they're both fantasy and they both have dragons.
Well, I'd argue that, you know. See, my default with that argument is just to go to gender. You know, there's women in Game of Thrones, women that can do shit. You know, and more than
True.
3 women.
I mean, Lord of the Rings has like 3 women.
Yeah,
That's enough for a race to survive.
Is it? Yeah, if you're like,
Wow.
I was gonna say if you're bees then, but I learned very recently that most bees are female. Wait, is that right? I can't remember. James Hetfield was talking about it on the Joe Rogan podcast, and yeah, I was like, oh, James Hetfield of Metallica. He'll probably be talking about their new album. 3 hours of talking about bees.
That's not what I would expect.
It was still really good. It was very entertaining, and he was going on about like how hives work and everything. But I was like, yeah, but like music and stuff.
Well, yeah, driving back after Christmas, I was sat just listening to Radio 4, like quite happily, because they were talking about something that I didn't think I'd ever hear about on Radio 4, which was like digital security and like online privacy and stuff. And I was just like,
given your new job,
excuse me, Radio 4, none of your listeners know what the fuck the internet is. So why are you chatting about it? But thanks, it was a good 2-hour show that I really enjoyed on the 3-hour drive.
In fairness, Radio 4 do have some good comedy and some good discussion things, and there was something that I've listened to once, and it was called something like The Pub Philosopher or something, but they were just discussing philosophy, and I was like, shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, I think we might be getting old.
I think we also might be getting off Black Sails. Talk about Radio 4 and your drive to Manchester.
Well, I didn't really have much more to add about Black Sails, because
We have sort of done it. It's a shame,
we sort of said
really.
it's
sort of
pretty.
ruined it for you.
Well, no, I mean it's good. I'm interested to see it. I don't think it's done for Pilot Law what Game of Thrones has done for Middle Earth, but I can look over that and it should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to actually sitting down and watching it.
Yeah. Have you still not watched it yet?
No.
Oh, I thought you'd actually, because I know you got the. Oh, you were just saying about the Blu-ray's not working, weren't you? So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then once I had the internet, I was like, well, I don't need to watch stuff that I already own. I can just go and watch stuff on Netflix again.
Okay, so I think that'll bring us to my number 1.
Is it Entourage?
Strangely enough, it's not Entourage, because Entourage can just go and boil its head in piss.
Yeah. When we were first sort of starting to plan this out, I was like, oh yeah, we can do a top 5, and then we can do like these are the 5 shows that we wouldn't recommend anyone watches.
But
And then we got to episode 10 and we did Entourage, and I was just like, we don't need to do that. We'll just at the end just be like, don't fucking watch Entourage. It's trash.
I'm gonna go back and listen to that episode at some point, I think. Just because I can't.
I think
exactly what we said.
I have to, just the first half.
But yeah, my number 1 is 24.
Yeah, I thought
Because
so.
we watched the pilot of 24, and then I think I ordered on eBay. I think for 15 quid, might have been 10 quid. I got the first 3 series of 24, and me and my fiance just watched the whole first series in the space of about, I don't know, it didn't take forever, but this was like when we were driving back and forth to each other's houses like every weekend, so we did a few episodes of a weekend, but it's just so compelling, and it's maintained its sort of stakes and suspense and tension. Like it was just phenomenal.
Is it one of those sort of shows that it's very hard to stop watching after like an
Yeah.
episode.
Completely, yeah. We were like, it would be getting to sort of midnight. We go, oh, it's Sunday night. We've got to get up for work early tomorrow morning. And we were just, well, we could just watch one more and just go to work tired. But it was just, that was great. It was such a good show. And the trouble is, as I'm now thinking, because we do have, like, as I said, 2 and 3, and we watched the first one of Series 2 the other day, and it was really good. But I just don't know if, I mean, I'll have to watch it, but I don't know if it'll be able to do the same thing. Well, evidently it did, because it had done it, there's 9 series of it. But I don't know if it will be able to maintain that level
One
of
sec.
entertainment.
Someone's just knocking on my door. Just keep talking.
So yeah, there definitely wasn't an interruption there.
No. Not at all.
Um,
Stupid neighbours being out.
what was I saying? Yeah, so I don't know if it'll sustain, if it'll be as good as the first one, because the first one was just so good. But yeah, I think we're definitely going to carry on watching that, and maybe run it to the end of the whole show. But we do have the entire series of the X-Files to get through that I keep on, at least. I say, please, can we just start watching it? 'Cause I really want to know how good it is. But yeah, that's my number one.
Is it not daunting having 9,
Yeah.
24 episode seasons to
Yep. And then
start? I suppose you're not catching up because they're not making anymore.
No, that's true. But then add X-Files onto that as well. So
Ugh.
that's a lot. So even if we sat down for 2 hours of an evening, did 124, one X-File a night, that would still take us probably
Months.
6 months. But, that would be five nights a week, sitting down and watching, 2 hours of telly. And sometimes you just don't want, serious drama and, stuff where you have to concentrate.
Yeah, no, I quite like sort of trying to balance out like
Shit
all the
and
sort
good
of
stuff.
yeah,
Well, you watch EastEnders,
sort of like-
so,
yeah, and that helps keep track of the days. It really throws me at Christmas though, because at Christmas, so from last Wednesday to today, there has been an episode every single day.
So you don't know whether you're Arthur or Martha at the minute.
Well, all I know is that today's a Wednesday.
No, it's not.
Yes. Oh fuck! There's EastEnders today. Yesterday, I know that yesterday was a Wednesday. Shit. Bloody
Brilliant.
Thursdays.
Right. So I think that's our top 5 of Series 1 of the Co-Pilots podcast. We will continue to do more of this sort of shit into the next year.
Yeah.
And as always, I don't give a fuck if no one listens to this. I'm doing this for you and me. So
Yeah. I can't wait to like just sit, like when we're old, and just sit and we can just watch them all, just back to back, marathon it, and just until we're bored of our own voices.
that'll happen very, very soon. But in
What we
fairness,
could
this,
do-
this has been like one of my favourite things that we've ever done, is doing this over the course of the year. Even if we had the period where we were interrupted for the last sort of 6-7 weeks.
Yeah. It's a damn good reason just to sit and chat about TV shows.
Yeah, and I think it's important to to record sort of conversations as well. Even if you don't put them on the internet, just for your own. Like I've done that before with people I think they're interesting. Just started recording on my phone just to get down what they're saying. But yeah,
I think the first episode of season 2
what's it gonna be?
is Preacher
Yeah,
and Constantine.
fucking sweet. I've started.
Preacher, which is currently still airing, and Constantine,
Which
which was
is-
cancelled after a season.
Doesn't matter. I'm not sure how well Preacher's gonna do. I hope it does alright because apparently it's quite good. But right, we'll have to just wait and see. I guess I'm looking forward to starting this up again, and probably I think we'll try and make it a scheduled thing. Now that I'm out of my mum and dad's place and I've got sort of freedom to do what I want now, we should be able to do these a bit more regularly.
Yeah, and they'll still be twice a month. Every other Wednesday is pretty much when they're going to come out.
Yeah.
The release date, I've written one down and I don't think it's going to happen.
I think we're pretty much just, giving that information out for Zara, because she's the only person that we know has listened to one or two of them. So, if you're listening, hello Japan.
Exactly. We're going to be worldwide, technically,
What is
if
it?
she continues to listen.
What's hello in Japan? Is it konnichiwa? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but konnichiwa Japonica. I think that's right. I got given.
I think that's a pretty good note to end it on, really.
I got given
Just you
a
butchering foreign languages.
Japanese cookbook for Christmas, so I will be making all sorts of delicious treats. And if you come down Southampton Way, you can sample them. You can sample my raw fish. Goodbye, the nation.
Because that'll be the end of it. You feed me and I die.
Yay! Finally. Right. Let's fuck this off and go and do something else. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What is it? Help! He's trapped me in a box. I'm naked. Please arrest the ginger man.